Welcome to all the attendees, and now I introduce very shortly my speakers and then let them self-introduce themselves. First of all, Michele Palumbo of Bayer, Supply Chain Director, Marco Moric, Vice President of Group Blomberg, and Philip Wendel of TESISQUARE, Deutschland, Austria, and Switzerland. Now I present our agenda. So we will discuss about a lot of points on the Bayer's digital transformation journey, and of course the point of visibility. Marco Moric will give us some experiences and cases from European researchers and projects, and then we come back to discuss this point with the audience, and I hope that all of you will propose questions and cases to our speakers. So I am pleased to give to Michele the direction and leave him present the Bayer's digital journey.
Thank you. Okay, so I will start spending a few words about Bayer. Bayer is a well-known company, so I will not bore you with figures, numbers, but I would just focus your attention on our mission. So health for all, hunger for none, and this is why we science. I would like to focus your attention on the 5.0 billion euros on research and development. And I often wonder if all the research, all the innovation we foster is only connected with this unit of money. And the answer that I gave to me is it is not enough. It's not only a question of money, it's a question of mentality. So it's a culture in place. So we have a huge advantage when we talk about customer centricity, because our customers are often patients. At the same time, we are conscious that our success depends on the collaborative network that we have in place with our partners. So collaboration is another huge pillar of our strategy for innovation. And more, today we do not have time enough to build trustful relationships based on a proven trust. So we give trust, but at the same time, we ask for a huge sense of responsibility, because there is only one chance. At the same time, experimentation is the last but not least in terms of importance, because experimentation is the attitude where we normally reward failures and not successes, because the success is the result of a path where failures are needed to get that final result. So this is the mentality that I tried to describe you to get innovation. And our journey, I will try to share with you, is based on these concepts. We started this journey 10 years ago when we had the simple need to change our pre-invoicing software. And so we had the need to go for something more, a platform, not a software. So something able to grant tracking, unlock collaboration, demaking, and so on. And consider that that was a huge challenge, because we had to integrate 5 different SAP at that time. So please go ahead with the video regarding the platform and ecosystem.
It is not the strongest of the species that survives, not the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is the most adaptable to change. Nature works because everything is interconnected. Like a huge single conscience, made of many little parts. We humans have learnt to study nature, copy it, enhance it. In the most effective and reliable ecosystems, everything is connected. Everything is tracked. Everything is notified. TESISQUARE has evolved into one platform that connects everything, end-to-end with a control tower approach. Everything is in your control with our new UX improved experience. Choose the module that you need to connect all your business partners, physical devices, and data into one platform. Reduce costs and let your multi-enterprise network run's value. Increase the collaboration from source to pay cycle. Monitor and have full control of your supply chain. Drive your data on control tower approach and enhance your transportation management. Satisfy your customers by designing your omni-channel customer experience and control your performance by analytics. One world, one partner, one platform to connect everything. TESISQUARE. Build your collaborative ecosystem.
Very well. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So our journey, as said, started exactly from the need to switch from a software to a platform. What do I mean? I mean that the first target that we wanted to get was automation. So we wanted to automate the pre-invoicing process, so the calculation of the cost at the end of the month. And there is no algorithm able to predict what is going on in real time. The algorithm can be extremely sophisticated, but nothing can substitute the reality as it happens now. So the idea that was behind was to create a system able to exchange in any kind of IT language at that time available, and that would have been developed in the future, acquiring information from every kind of data source in order to go beyond the concept of interface. And so going beyond the concept of the algorithm in our legacy system. How we created this platform on a cloud where all the actors had the possibility to interact. And so the owners of the process that were responsible for a part of the distribution process were the active actors to solve problems, to solve issues, to share problems, and so on. So you can see we have created also a safe connection with our legacy system in order to transfer only the most meaningful information and nothing else. So I have to say that surprisingly, this unlocked a collaboration potential not only among the actors of the supply chain that we have in place, but also, for example, with the competitors. Because at consortium level, so the Daphne consortium, which is gathering all the actors of the industry, we experimented forms of collaboration because we are working all together in the same 3PLs, for example. And we had the opportunity to create a sort of booking calendar all together, exchanging that the appointment for loading or unloading track. This is just an example. One very interesting feature of this platform is the simulation, where often it happens that we are challenged about the distribution asset that we have. So, for example, the question could be, why do you have 2 warehouses and not one centralized somewhere, or 3 warehouses, and so on? The simulation feature is extremely useful. So I have the opportunity with a simple click to process, for example, 1 year data in a completely different distribution asset. And so to see immediately the consequences in terms of cost and service level of a different asset, which is normally extremely difficult. And the calculation is based on averages and so on and so forth. In this case, it is exactly what happened in the last year, for example, but reproduced in a different mode, in a different situation. And last but not least, the full visibility challenge that the platform is granting is offering a micro view, so I can deep dive in micro details, but at the same time I can provide also the full picture, yeah, to the higher levels. So a sort of executive summary in a macro view to the top management of the company. When I speak about full visibility, obviously I have to talk about the transparency challenge that we have in our supply chain. We have a long supply chain. So we have more than 30 plants, a couple of warehouses, and at the same time we have a very structured distribution partner network. So we have hubs, we have subsidiaries, and we have many customers in different channels. The challenge of transparency is regarding the fact that we know perfectly when we receive the goods and when we deliver those, but till the goods arrive to the customers, there is a lack of visibility. Visibility, I mean also in terms of temperature, humidity, or geolocations and other features. So we try to cope with this challenge, implementing an RFID solution at different levels. So we apply those RFID labels on the shipping cartons, and all those information lands on a rain cloud. At the same time, all those information are also available on the pallet level. So we are aggregating those information from the shipping cartons to the pallet that is transporting those cartons. All those features are obviously in line with the falsified medicine directive that will be in place in Italy in 2025. As you can see, the pallet is not a standard pallet. It is a completely 100% recycled pallet using poly-coupled plastic waste. And so in this way, we switched from the standard wooden pallet, 75,000 pallets per year, to more or less 4,000 green pallet recycled ones, saving money from a waste perspective, but also gaining money from the fact that we are selling the wooden EPAL pallet that we are not using anymore, while reusing the recycled pallets. This solution is not intelligent because it is fireproof, washable, and not easy to break, extremely robust and lighter than the wooden pallet. But it is intelligent also because started from 2019, all those pallets are equipped with RFID tags. And we are also testing IoT sensor in order to capture important information about the temperature, humidity, geolocation, shocks, and so on, regarding the journey of our products to the customers. A glance to the future, I would say all those massive data could land on a distributed ledger or blockchain, where the relevant information could be notarized in order to grant to our customer, our patient, a really secure, transparent, and trusted supply chain. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Michele. Your presentation highlighted a lot of interesting points, and I am sure that all of us will, all of attendees and all of us will go deeper with you. Now I ask Marco Moric to have a presentation. I ask you also to shorten of a minute or two because of that problem at the start, and give us a view on throughout Europe about what are the real issues for our supply chains. Thank you, Marco.
Yeah, so you stress myself to 1 minute now. So anyway, I will try to find a way. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's so.
Yeah. So yeah, as Eugenio was saying, thank you, Eugenio. I think I want to provide a bit of an European perspective and some example in addition to what Michele was sharing. So as a company, Brambos, and our main logo, main brand is CEP. We are really a global service pooling provider that I would say that our network, as you can see from the number, our network and our density of the network give us a unique position in the supply chain. So we can leverage our share and use model to improve the sustainability of the supply chain, but also give us a high level of visibility across the whole supply chain, from the first mile to the consumer. That's why, all in all, our purpose is really to connect people with life essential every day. Moving to the next one. The first insights I want to bring to you is around transport and knowing this is an opportunity if you look at the scale and the size of transport in Europe. So we spent in Europe, the spent on transport is more than 350 billion euro per year. And we know that transport are inefficient. These are some statistics from published survey that give us 25% of inefficiency. From our internal number, this number is even higher. When we look at our customers, it goes up to 35% in terms of inefficiency. Which are the two drivers of this inefficiency? One is the empty truck, coming back from the return of the empty truck. That is around 70% of the issue. Another 30% is less than full truck loaded. So we have two main issues. And Michele was referring to an opportunity that is around really improve collaboration. So I would say that this is a big opportunity that we see as well as Brambos, as this opportunity can really see how we can leverage data and technology to improve the way of working of our customer, means manufacturer, retailers, and as well as carriers, to really work together and leverage data to improve efficiency within the supply chain. So as an example, we launched one of our service that is air shared, that is now covering more than 200 customers in Europe, getting not only the opportunity to match lanes and the opportunity to leverage a better way of moving goods across Europe, but also to drive a higher sustainability as a consequence and efficiency. So we start to measure efficiency coming up to 10 million in this case across all our customers working this collaborative way. So here the key concept I want to share with you, even reinforcing the concept that Michele was talking about, is really the key word is here, collaboration. Second topic that I want to give you as a perspective is I was sharing with you that we have visibility until the consumer. So let's see what is happening in store. In store, we know that the out of stock, the lack of availability of products is one of the pain points that we have as a manufacturer, as a retailer, as a player in the value chain. And we know that in Europe, from statistics that we see, 7% is the average of out of stock that we see in Europe, which means directionally a loss of sales of 2%. So again, how can we leverage data and different technology, as an example, virtual reality, to bring to life different way of managing, of doing category management, in the way that is helping us as a solution to really drive them shelf and out of shelf availability. So as an example, as a company, we launched different size of pallets that was helping us and our customer to find new ways of replenish the shelf and improve the availability of the products, but also to use different pallets, in particular the quarter pallet with the RFID and smart tag that was giving us the opportunity to improve the sales in promotion. So that's another opportunity if you look at improving efficiency, replenishment time and cost, but also effectiveness, improving sales. Then to stick to the timing that Eugenio was giving me, I will jump to the last one, that is referring to visibility and really be able to illuminate the supply chain. The real-time visibility that Michele was referring to is something that is not only needed for us, but is required from our consumer. So consumer are asking, 40% of the consumer are looking for having traceability of the whole supply chain of the product that they are buying. And this has been increased even during the COVID, because the security of what we are buying and the food that we are giving to our families is becoming more and more important. So all in all, this is another opportunity. And on top of what Michele was sharing about having the visibility on with a smart pallet, that is something that we test with our customer and can provide a lot of benefits. We see other opportunity to leverage data to improve visibility. As an example, and I will close, there is one around how to improve forecast, and we launched a new service that is a CHEP Retail Index. This is a way of leveraging data and AI to help our customer to forecast 3 months in advance sales. And we are adopting this model with 200 customers in LATAM and Iberia, with a 95% accuracy now that we got with this system. And the second one, and then I will close, is really around using additional technology to manage, as an example, the inventories. And we launched a new system that is our SkyScan, that is a way of using drones.
Excuse me, Marco, we are going short of time because now I have to ask all of you about the visibility.
So, yeah, I just need 10 seconds to say just a reinforcement, and then I will close. That for me is really how we share the responsibility as a player in the market to really make sure that we test, learn, build, or pivot new approaches, ensure that we improve the sustainability of our value chain by building today and exciting tomorrow.
Perfect.
That's it.
So now we can discuss with your point of view. All of you, give me the point about the visibility in your perspective. I will start from Michele, that with his presentation on his digital journey has pointed out, highlighted that the visibility is not at the beginning, but was the major benefit during this journey. And then your different point of views from the IT perspective and from a logistics service provider perspective from Marco and Philip. As Michele, please, can you give us your point of view? I can leave you a couple of minutes more than the others because of the issue at the beginning.
Thank you, Eugenio. Yeah, as you said, I mentioned in the title a journey. So this journey started 10 years ago. So we had a clear vision where we would have liked to land today. So it is not technology that is driving innovation. Technology can help you, can make it possible, but you have to have a clear idea where you want to go. It is not, wow, there is a nice technology now, what can we do with this technology? So I want to be very clear. So technology has a relevant role to unlock potential, but you have to know exactly where really you want to go. So visibility for us means more than, make it clear. Visibility for us is visibility in real time, which is transparency. So make the supply chain not a black box, but a transparent box where you can see everything. And for us that they are dealing with pharmaceutical products, this is crucial for our patients and for our customers. And you know, today all the customers are used to have a minimum level of satisfaction, which is, you know, is the Amazon one that everyone is used to test, to try. So have the visibility of where are my shoes, where are my rucksack, or whatever. And pardon me, but if we are talking about pharmaceutical products, I think this is even more important to have this kind of visibility.
Thank you. Perfect. Philip, now I have to ask you for an IT perspective about visibility. We have seen the point of view of a producer. Now we will go on a service provider, but in the middle there is the point. It could be an issue or it could be a leverage of the tools. Please, Philip, give us the IT perspective about visibility.
Well, so thank you for all we heard so far, especially what you said, Michele, about what it is. It's not pure IT, it's also the people around it. So it has a qualitative aspect, of course, as well. In Germany, we say, or it's a well-known phrase among business people, Handel ist Wandel. That is pretty much of what we saw in the video at the beginning. It means it's all about ability to adapt to situations. Charles Darwin once called it the survival of the fittest. Of course, you know that. And further we say, jede Kette ist nur so stark wie ihr schwächstes, schwächstes Glied. That means a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Or today, better we say or call this as we organize our business operation networks, rather than in linear structures. Any ecosystem is only as effective as the network interfaces that necessarily needs to be utilized here. So, however, networks are by nature more complex than linear chains, of course, and thus increasingly globalized ecosystems also face challenges. There's an increasing pressure on omni-channel shift. We see compliance, sustainability regulations, and of course, unpredictable events to be managed. So COVID-19 crisis is a good example. So it's no need to say that you can only manage what you are aware of. And hence, I think end-to-end visibility is essential for the best possible decision-making here. I think this is obvious. Also, the Supply Chain Movement magazine, you might have heard of this, asked 143 manufacturing companies in Europe in March this year, what is your supply chain bottleneck in the Corona crisis? The lack of demand visibility from customer was mentioned as the second most important factor here. And whereas the lack of visibility of capacity of suppliers ranked fifth. So this is quite significant, I would say, how important the companies in the Corona crisis experienced visibility. Of course, there are certain new fields which is IT using now. We have heard of machine learning, of neural networks, etc. But all over, I would say, if then else, however, is still a basic organizational principle of IT. Like this, we can simulate, and this is what you have also mentioned before, the impact to our company's ecosystem. And if we are able to combine this, I would say, with the increasing amount of available computing power this day, and if we pair this with many years of valuable industry experience that people gather in projects, we can better evaluate our ecosystems and take action on this. So this is what I think is most important here. And
thank you. Good point of view. Now, Marco, from a logistic service provider, as you know your company has a lot of relationships with logistics service providers. So you can give us their perspective about visibility. A very short answer, so we can go to other questions.
Yeah, I think on visibility, I think I will echo what has been said. I think my view is how can we improve visibility and leverage technology to solve the problem. So we should always start from the problem that we want to solve, and then based on that, ensure that we leverage the technology, the visibility, and provide visibility to solve exactly the problem that we want to solve. So my advice here and my learning from kind of not only logistics service provider but manufacturer and as well a retailer is start with the problem.
Start with the problem. And now, as you just mentioned in your presentation, it's a problem. So I have a question, of course, first to Michele, but I will pose it also to Philip and Marco. What are the quantitative and qualitative benefits of real-time visibility? Because we have seen a lot of points, a lot of improvement, of course, but there are also quantitative benefits in your experience, please.
Thank you, Eugenio. This is a great question. Yeah, many are wondering if transparency is only a slogan or is something concrete. So yeah, I will try to provide an answer. Let's make a rough calculation. So as I showed, the experience of recycling pallets is costing nothing or more, is allowing us to gain some money, 250,000 euros per year. Then we invested also in technology in order to get visibility, and this costed us more or less 200,000 euros per year, but those were immediately recovered. In 3 months, we had a perfect return of this investment. At the same time, we have to cope on a yearly base with 500,000 euros of damages, missed goods, lost or disguided and whatever. And more, there is also a value of all those information I'm talking about. So also our customers are very, very interested in having those information because they can automate their process. Think to the wholesalers, think to the hospitals, and so on and so forth. So the value of those information is between 300,000 euros and 500,000. So if we sum all those amount of money, we have more or less 1.5 million euros as potential. That means more or less the 20% of our supply chain yearly cost. I think this is a huge opportunity to have a breakthrough. A feasible supply chain would be something different, and we are every day surprised by all the benefits that is unlocking. So imagine COVID was not predictable 3-4 years ago when we started implementing heavily this kind of transparency. Today we have the strictest respect of the COVID fighting protocols, thanks to the social distancing, because no many people are required anymore to manually handle our cartons, or simply imagine that all those goods are readed, passing through endable readers or whatever. So this is something that we were not expecting. Many of those benefits were not calculated at the very beginning. So automation, optimization, unlocking collaboration among the actors, and I could mention even more.
I have another question for you, Michele, and then I go to Philip, because it's really connected with the benefits you have just mentioned. And what are issues and constraints? Because of course, there is another, the flip side of the coin, of course.
You're right. My mindset let me think that problems are opportunities. I would not be here in case no problems have to be solved. But yeah, something which is really crucial stands in the mentality, in the culture, in practice I talked about. Collaboration. Collaboration is connecting, is something that you have to really trust. So at the very beginning, our partners were looking at this project with the same perplexities that we had at the very beginning. But collaborating, trusting each other, we really succeeded in building something which is really one step ahead.
Perfect. We have only 2 minutes, but I think that our attendees will be patient with us. So, Philip, can you very briefly give your answer from a IT point of view to the first and the second question we received, benefits, quantitative, and issues and constraints, and then I go to Marco for his answer to these two very strong questions.
Well, we saw that there are lots or better to say, tons of data produced that needs to be handled. And this is maybe one of the issues we have to really get it performant into a platform system to connect everybody. We saw in your presentation, Michele, sorry, we saw like the intelligent palettes, we saw all that stuff that produces data that cleverly needs to be intergeared. So that is probably one of the issues. And coming back of the benefits or the leverages we have, I would say there are different levels of maturity in which IT can be here of assistance. The first would be for me, collect and connect. That's how I would call it. So ideally, you will receive data in real time and bring it to your platform. The second step, I would say, is a kind of analyze and predict. So turn data into answers to anticipate problems rather than just react on them and proactively improve your operations. And the third one is take action. Automate it wherever possible, of course. So to implement and execute perfect processes, of course, is homework, what we say. Yeah, so that is pretty much what we can do here. And of course, the main thing is it's pretty much all in the software already. But most of the task is also, and this should be not underestimated, change management. So people must accept this change and they must learn how to use technology to maximize their own advantage here. So that is basically another task companies are facing at the moment, I would say.
Thank you, Philip. Marco, please, can you add something to the two very hard questions that we collected?
Yeah. On the benefits, I think in my presentation you saw some example of the tangible benefit that we got and we experienced. I think if you think about transport, 1 point of efficiency global in Europe is 3 billion. So the visibility in terms of benefit, how much can we bring? And then I think you saw from a consumer side, we can get higher sales, as well as in terms of the way we manage our inventory level and stock, thanks to the forecast. So there are a number of benefits, I would say. I think issue and constraint, I think we lack culture of collaboration. That's one of the main issues that I see. When we were socializing the idea with our customer to collaborate, sharing data, creating this collaboration is tough for our customer. We are not having this culture. I think it's something that we should start changing. And then creating common platform is not easy, even from technology standpoint sometimes. And how do we leverage really technology? I think we lack ability to really get insights from data, what we call data literacy. How do we move from these tons of data into insight, from insight into value, action? There is something that we should leverage more as companies and as players in the market.
Yeah, I agree, because this is a very strong point. So I want to go to a wrap up. We have gone short of time, and in the wrap up, I think, and I leave the last word to Michele about it, because the buyer approach step by step was successful, and this is a very important point. TMS brings results, and he has showed us with numbers in buyers what he gained, what he has accomplished. Digital supply chain, there was a report of Gartner about the difficulty benefits, but you have showed to all our attendees that there are quantitative benefits. And so there are other steps, further steps as track and tracing, control tower, and IoT. And just a final word, Michele, from your point of view, your next steps.
I'm really happy to share with you the next challenge. Philip mentioned resilience. Everyone is talking about resilience today. COVID accelerated this process, this consciousness of the importance of resilience of an entire supply chain. And we are not competing alone. We have a huge ecosystem of partners there. And the resilience of a supply chain is the one of the weakest link, as Philip said. Our next challenge is to have a clear picture of the resilience of each single ring of our supply chain. So this is the next challenge.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Michele. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Marco. Thank you to all of our attendees. I think that the recording of this webinar will be available in a couple of days. And there is also a document from Michele buyer's experience. And thank you again. Have a nice day and a beautiful work and path for the supply chain digital. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Ciao.
Ciao.